This is the Reds POSTCAST, your instant game reaction for the Cincinnati Reds. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Good evening, Reds fans, and welcome to another edition of the POSTCAST, brought to you by Locked On Reds and the Locked On Podcast Network. My name is Tim Daniel. I am a lifelong Cincinnati Reds fan. I've been podcasting about this team for 5 years of publications such as Late Night Reds and the Riverfront, and I would like to thank you all for joining me tonight as we unfortunately discuss the Cincinnati Reds blowing a game to the Los Angeles Dodgers with a 5-4 loss. Whoa, my camera. Okay, that was a little weird. If you are just checking my show for the first time, welcome. We're so glad to have you here. Please be sure to hit that notification button so you can not only get my show after each and every Reds game, but you can get Jeff Carr and Stephen Offenbaker Monday through Friday on Locked On Reds. On tonight's show, we're going to discuss the bullpen not holding up to their end of the bargain tonight. Really frustrating. We're going to call these, we're going to talk about some rally killing homers. If you heard what Barry Larkin had to say yesterday about home runs kill rallies, well, the Reds killed a couple rallies in a certain inning today. So we're going to discuss that. And we're going to talk about how Nick Lodolo continues to shine. All that and a whole lot more. And I'm going to hear from you, the audience. Tonight was not a fun loss. I'm very disappointed. Let's just go ahead and get to it, shall we?
This is what you'll be talking about.
All right, so let's go two ways on this. First things first, you can say, well, it's the Dodgers. Okay. Yeah, you get it. They're pretty good. They win a lot of games. They're defending world champs. You get it. Lineups, pretty sick. You get it. But, so you get on that point, you're like, sure. But what's really disappointing is that the Reds had a 2-run lead on the Dodgers and couldn't add to it. What's really disappointing is that the Reds had chances to add to this and couldn't do it. I mean, the team's pretty good. I feel pretty good about the team in general. I'm not sitting here pissed off they lost. But I thought they had a good chance to win this game tonight. So let's just kind of go through the big picture. So first thing, I mean, you got to give the Reds credit for the first part of getting Tyler Glass out of there after just 4+ and getting you a chance to get going there. But then you kind of just see the big weaknesses on this team. Dan says, I want Tim Daniel on the mound. Dan, I can assure you, you do not want Tim Daniel pitching a baseball game. I'm 36 with no arm. Probably not gonna get us anywhere, but I appreciate that you have me in mind for that. And then you kind of go through and, Ellie has that double and Alexis Diaz comes in and you can't get him in. 2 outs, whatever. But, frustrating because they had their chances. So I'm going to go ahead and talk more about just the bullpen here. And I'm going to start with Graham Ashcraft. Not where I wanted to start this because I thought that maybe he would be decent there. I mean, having a lead, I thought maybe they have a shot. Nope, not at all. It's been bad for Graham Ashcraft of late. So he throws an inning tonight, has 2 earned runs and a walk. ERA sits at 4. ERA really in his last 7-8 games, it's around 6. WHIP in that time frame, 2. In his last 7 games, he has 6 strikeouts, 4 walks, 4 earned runs, 8 hits, and that's 6 innings pitched. Not going to get the job done there, Dougie. And Tony Santillan comes in for the 175th time this season because God only knows what a day would be like if he didn't pitch. And then we have Emilio Pagan come in and he is, we're back to this again. No, we're not doing this. We're absolutely not doing this. If you're not going to be here, you're going to act like this, be negative because they lost 2 games to the Dodgers. No, don't do that crap. All right. Like, baseball's hard. They should have won tonight. I agree. And I'm disappointed they lost 2. But we're not going to just completely crap on how well they've played for 10 of the last 16 games. Still pretty darn good. They just got to get better. They have chances to get better. And if they don't take it, that's on them. So we're not doing this crap. I'm not listening to that tonight. All right. So Tony Santillan has an inning and then Emilio Pagan struggles. Look, Emilio Pagan's been really good for weeks. So it's a bummer that he wasn't good tonight. I'm disappointed. It happens. He's been really good for weeks now. I do think the Reds should Sam says it here. My good friend Sam Merrill, shooting guard for the Cleveland Cavaliers, says we need 2 relievers bad. I don't disagree with that. I really don't disagree with that. I'd be more than happy to bring in a lefty and a righty because we've seen that Taylor Rogers is getting the job done. I'm not so sure what they're going to get from Sam Mullen anymore. It doesn't feel like he's just consistently better, but yeah, they got to get a better bullpen. And that's kind of that was the big difference tonight. That was just, between those 2 guys there, that was atrocious because Nick Lodolo was great tonight. I mean, he flat out wasn't as great as his last game, but still very darn good and still keeps us rolling. So for the bullpen tonight, just kind of give that one away is really frustrating. And big picture sucks. It's a loss, but hopefully you can kind of get it back going. See if they can keep the non-sweep streak alive. I'm not as optimistic about that one for tomorrow as I normally am, but they're 2.5 games behind the Padres. And so actually, Carter, that's a good question. I didn't even think about that. Why don't they pitch Brent Suter more? I can tell why they don't pitch Taylor Rogers more because he has the most lucky 2.3 ERA I've ever seen in my life. His baseball card numbers do not really show how good he is. But I think if you look at a game like tonight, you see what the pieces are. You think that they're not far away. I don't think they're pretty far away. They get a solid bat and they get a reliever or 2. I think they can make a run at this. No reason to think not to. Just thought tonight was sucky. Graham Ashcraft doesn't seem like he's trustworthy at this point. And so we kind of move on from there. Let's go to the plus side of things here in the next segment because Jake Fraley and Noelvi Marte had some nice moments tonight. And if you remember from yesterday's game, Barry Larkin said when you hit home runs, you kill rallies. We're going to talk about those rally-killing homers right after this. Today's episode is brought to you by our friends at Gameday Hue, and so is this hat I'm wearing. For Reds fans like me, this one hits the mark. Gameday Hue makes clean, no-logo gear with team-inspired colorways in every pro and college fan base. So if you're looking to get some Reds hats like mine, get some Bengals hats, Ohio State, Notre Dame, Xavier, the Cleveland Cavaliers, because Sam Merrill's in the chat. They got the colorways you need. It's about letting your colors speak for you. No giant logos, smart, versatile style that works on game day, on the course, or anywhere in between. Today, I took my daughter out to play a little bit after my day job. Had a lot of fun. Wore the Gameday Hue hat. It was hot as blazes tonight. Very breathable, very comfortable. I absolutely love this hat. And not just the hat. If you go golfing, I went to Top Golf and I used the split shade gloves. It's made for the golf courses. So it's a perfect fit for the fan who has everything. Right now, you can get 15% off with MLB15 at GamedayHue.com. That's GamedayHue.com. The code even stacks on bundled deals, so now's the time to load up. Let your colors talk because colors speak louder than words. That's GamedayHue.com, code MLB15. Want to shout out our everydayers here on the postcast as we discuss a tough Cincinnati Reds loss tonight to the LA Dodgers 5-4. If you are just checking me out for the first time and want to become an everydayer, you can do simply that by hitting the notification button here on YouTube and also subscribing. You can not only get my show after each and every Reds game, but you can get Jeff and Steve Monday through Friday on Locked On Reds. And of course, if you can't follow us here on YouTube, you can follow along with us on your podcast app of choice. We are on all of them. Let's talk about when this game went out of favor of the Dodgers.
Time to reveal where the game was won or lost. It's the turning point.
It's definitely that ninth inning play. Gavin Lux and the Emilio Pagan pitch and the Gavin Lux situation. I blame that more on Lux than I do on Pagan, honestly. I thought Will Smith's Will Smith, dude. He's awesome. Like, he's really freaking good. There's a reason he's hitting 300 right now, right? And I think Gavin Lux could have made that a bit of a better play, and James Outman kind of gets there, and the throwback to Ellie was bad too as well. So I think that's what hurt them in the big picture. So yeah, Nathan says it here. Lux needs to be able to hit the cutoff man at minimum. You're not wrong. But I kind of like what they've gotten from Gavin Lux still. Yeah, Carter, can we talk about this? The fact the Reds, even though they lost tonight, held Shohei Ohtani to 0 for 4 with four strikeouts. That was pretty awesome. We'll get to Nick Lodolo in the final segment of the show. Spoiler alert, locked on player of the game, Nick Lodolo. But I want to discuss. Okay, actually, John made a comment here I want to make sure we get to as well. Pulling Fraley was a major fail. Yes, it was. Let's talk about Jake Fraley, because Jake Fraley had one of the two moments I loved the most tonight. And obviously that was the 2 home runs they hit to take the lead tonight. And I want to start because Fraley had the first one. And just the way that Jake Fraley's been swinging the bat of late has been awesome. So Fraley's only up to 6 homers on the year, but his OPS is up to 774, which I would not have guessed when we were talking about him in May that he'd be putting numbers up like that. And he's been hitting really well for a while now. So last 30 games, he's got a 300 batting average, a 395 on base, and a 486 slugging. Been pretty awesome. He's walking a lot more. He's got 10 walks in that time frame compared to 19 strikeouts. Not perfect, but you'll take it for sure. And then he's got 3 homers and 14 RBIs in that time, 21 hits, 70 bats, 15 runs scored. He's been locked in, and he's been really good. And I understand that he's not going to be someone you can play against left-handed pitching, and I'm fine with that. But I do think that they need to have a better plan for that situation than Connor Joe. And then Noelvi Marte comes in today, and after Noelvi Marte maybe had his worst game of the year between the 2 missed plays in the infield and then a couple really bad at-bats last night. Frustrating game for him. And tonight comes out there and has a huge homer as well to take the lead after Fraley ties it. And Marte's a guy who I'm really high on. I mean, this year they've gotten from him, I've been really happy with, and I think he's just going to keep getting better and better. Tonight was, really nice moment for him. I mean, really probably should have been the point that they won the game. I know they ended up scoring another run the next inning, which was awesome because LA grounded to the force out there when the bases were loaded and they couldn't double them up, of course. Those 2 guys, killing rallies out there. I'm going to make fun of Barry Larkin for that one for a long time. One of my all-time favorite players. I mean, literally, you can see right there, he's behind me. But this whole thing about, home runs kill rallies is the most 1987 baseball thing I've ever heard in my life. And the fact that John Sadek sitting there saying home runs win games and he says they kill rallies is just, okay, this is not about the broadcast. This is about the game in and of itself. But I wanted to make sure I made fun of that because that was ridiculous. But those 2 moments were awesome. Love to see it. The Reds need to hit more home runs, get guys who can hit home runs. Maybe that guy that used to play for you that's in Arizona right now would be a nice part of that as well. A couple of things tonight on the offense side of things. Obviously, disappointing they couldn't come through. 1 for 6 with runners in scoring position tonight. That's when you're going to lose games, especially against good teams like the Dodgers. Obviously, Ellie getting that double there was humongous when they bring Alexis Diaz in. Should have been the time they could have taken this game. I feel like that was a part where that was a real opportunity there. And then, can we talk about the 9th inning real quick? Josh, actually, they found out they said the x-rays were negative on the Suarez injury. So thankfully when he got hit yesterday, it wasn't as terrible as everyone may have thought it was. Look, I get he got called up because TJ Friedel and his wife are TJ Friedel's wife's having a baby, and congratulations to them. Nothing better in the world. Rhys Hines cannot lead off the 9th inning. I get that your defense is short at that. I mean, your bench is short at that point. I can't have Rhys Hines going up there and doing that. Rhys Hines is the best you can call up at this point. I get it, 40-man roster and all that jazz, but it's not had a competitive at-bat in the majors in a long time. And I get he's been swinging the bat really well in Louisville. I think he's a 4A player. I don't see him doing anything consistently in the big leagues really ever. I'm just going to be honest. And then you go to Tyler Stevenson for the last at-bat. Every substitution pattern tonight really frustrated me. I'm just going to be honest. Actually, Carter, I think I would give Benson the edge over Rhys Hines, to be honest with you. And that's not saying much. But, Espinal pinches for Fraley. Does nothing. Connor Joe comes in. Does nothing. And just and then Rhys Hines strikes out completely. Nick says it here too. Watch a couple. Yeah, that was not a good at-bat. And I get it. First big league at-bat in a long time. I don't see him being a guy who's going to be able to be someone who contributes to a winning Reds team. I hate to say it, but I don't see it from him. I hope I'm wrong. I really hope I'm wrong. There's a lot to like about him. Super athletic. Got a lot of pop in the bat. Got a lot of things to be worried about. But yeah, so the offense tonight obviously had their chances and they couldn't make anything happen. And they should really go get better in the offense at the trade deadline. Analysis for you all, ladies and gentlemen. Let's get to our locked on player of the game and finish the show talking about something good.
This is the Locked On Player of the Game.
So Nick Lodolo is definitely going to be our Locked On Player of the Game because he continues this excellent stellar starting pitching that not only he's giving the team, but the Reds are and starting rotation is giving them in general right now. After last night, Chase Burns has 10 strikeouts and a walk. Nick Lodolo tonight goes 11 strikeouts and a walk. So the Reds have now struck out 21 batters and walked 2 against the Dodgers in 2 games and lost both. Cool. Really cool, guys. Those 2 guys have just been, they were lights out and they were really good. And like Lodolo, again, if you go through, there isn't anything to tell, like what they're getting from him, putting it all together. Continues this stellar run, his last 7 starts, obviously. What are we looking at now? Last 15 starts, he's got a 3.01 ERA. He's thrown 86 innings in that time frame, 92 strikeouts. Last 7 starts, his whip's under 1. He's been great and he's been awesome. And it's nice that the way things line up is he's going to get the first Cubs game in Chicago on Monday. The Reds have struggled so much against the division this year. So it's nice to see him getting that play there as well. So I'm all for Nick Lodolo's best night. I'm sorry that the bullpen couldn't do him any favors, nor could his offense with runners in scoring position. Nathan says, Tim, when you rattle off these options, it makes it sound like the gap is too big to try to buy this week. I don't think so, Nathan. I really do think that they can buy. And I don't think they're really far away at all. So if that's what my comments are coming off as, I apologize because it's not my intent. I really like this Reds team. I think that they certainly have guys who are good enough to help them take the next step. I just think that they need to go get a couple extra players. They need to get another power hitter. They got to get a couple bullpen arms. Rotation's great. I think really the top of the order has been really good for about 8 to 10 weeks now, even with Ellie not hitting homers. I don't really have a whole lot of complaints there, but I don't think they're perfect by any means. And obviously right now it's nice that we're scoreboard watching because they have played well enough. So let's see, man. So if that's what I'm saying in that case, I apologize, Nathan. That's certainly not my intent. I do believe this team has a good amount of talent, but I think they need to do a little more to get this team going. But tonight they do lose, and it's a bummer. As the Cincinnati Reds lose to the LA Dodgers 5-4 at GABP. The Dodgers have 5 runs on 11 hits and no errors. Reds have 4 runs on 6 hits and 2 errors. Your winning pitcher tonight is Alexis Diaz as he gets his first win of the season. Emilio Pagan gets his 3rd loss, and then the save tonight goes to Alex Vesia for his 4th of the year. Before I get into this, I want to make sure I say one other thing. I get you're disappointed in how he pitched for this team, and I understand that you expected more from him. Booing Alexis Diaz tonight was totally lame. It was really lame. Like, I get it. I wanted to be better here too, but I don't think it was lack of effort. I don't understand. It wasn't a good luck. But tomorrow the Reds try to keep the streak going of avoiding sweeps as Nick Martinez takes the ball. He is 9-9 with a 4.69 ERA going against Shohei Ohtani, who is 0-0 with a 1.5 ERA. Although Shohei Ohtani has only had 6 starts, he's only thrown 12 innings. First pitch will be at 7:10. So hopefully we talk about the fact that they didn't get swept tomorrow and they can salvage one of these games before they have the Atlanta Braves come to town. And of course we have Bristol on Saturday, and I can't wait. I hear I'm going to be seeing some of you guys there. So please be sure to stop. Jeff, Steve, and I will all be together through the day. I'm Tim Daniel. It's so nice to talk to you guys in the good days and the bad. Have a good one, and I will talk to you all soon. Take it easy, everyone.